Alright everyone, welcome to today's charting session. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, what we do here is we typically look at either yung mga trending names, meaning yung mga pangalan na either gumalaw ng malaki, whether to the upside or to the downside, mga malalaki yung value traded, or yung generally speaking mas minamatahan lang ng mga tao, no? Also, tumatanggap din po tayo ng mga chart requests. So kapag meron po kayong mga request, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I promise I do get to all of them eventually, no? This week, we did something different. Naglagay tayo ng konting focus sa isang specific stock, and that was with Figaro, no? Or FCG. So later on, dadaanan natin siya ulit to see what happened na nga ba sa stock na yon during the course of the week, and I'll explain what I did, explain my thought process, para lang alam yung lahat. Alright? So, let's start off first with ICT. So, ICT, last time we looked at this, ang sabi nga natin, it was essentially trapped within this upper range. Pero etong buo yun, sa totoo lang, sinegment lang natin siya. So, it was trapped within the upper half of this larger range. Okay, ang sabi natin, and this still applies, if mabasag tong 190.5, then likely we dig deeper, perhaps going back into the lower end of this range. But until that happens, we can expect na dito muna siya between 190 hanggang 213, no? So it is a tradable range. It's just that marami na rin siyang chop. So it likely won't be as easy to find opportunities to get in and out of this particular trade. In fact, if you look at this, diba, sabi natin trap siya dito sa upper bound. Nung tumaas siya last week, it did kinda sorta get near etong resistance natin at 213, only to find na hindi pa kaya. So nagkaroon tayo ng pullback konti. Then today, nag-close tayo end of this week na essentially bumalik lang tayo dito. Okay, dito sa glut nung chop natin. So, ano gusto nating makita for a more bullish na scenario? Gusto natin makita na mabasag tong 213.6 or sabihin na lang natin 214 na, no? Para bagong high na naman and may bagong price exploration na naman tayo, and we can expect na mas malakas yung momentum pushing towards the upside. But until we're trapped in chop, mas mahirap talaga siyang i-trade and it will require more patience on our parts, no? Next, tignan po natin tong ATN. So, itong ATN, I purposely held off looking at it until the end of the week. So medyo sakto kahapon nagkaroon ng disclosure tong ATN about yung solar chuchu, no? If you want to know more about it, I've posted a link in the description box below that takes you to yung disclosure mismo sa PSE Edge. Okay? Now, ATN is not a stock I typically trade. Sabi ko dati, kapag may nakikita akong ganito, yung mga dashes lang, yung mga dash lang talaga, pag marami ako nakikitang ganyan sa chart, I tend to avoid trading yung mga ganong charts. So, I wasn't really paying particular attention dito sa ATN. Nagulat na lang ako na tumaas na nga. But if we look at it, ano nga ba yung nangyari? Diba? We pushed up, broke above ito. Diba? Nagkaroon tayo ng support here, nag-double bottom. We pushed up, barely touched on this range. We broke higher, broke above tong 56, pero doon din tayo nag-pullback. Diba? This is why I like buying on pullbacks, no? Kasi kapag nabibigyan ka, usually it's better entries with better confirmation. So nag-pullback siya, then from there, we pushed higher, breaking above tong high na to at 75. And the next resistance level natin is at 84. However, we do need to take note na meron pang unfilled gap dito. So it's always possible na balikan yan ng price, i-fill yung gap, then we roll over from there as well. For now, assuming wala pa kayong hawak, medyo mahirap siyang habulin. For me, at least. Bakit? Kasi, yung technical stop natin for this one, at least para sa akin, would have to be at least below this. So, that would be below 55. And nasa 77 na, medyo ang layo nung difference, diba? With resistance at 84 and potential stop at 50, below 55, I don't know about you, pero napakapangit nung risk-reward na yun para sa akin. Okay? It's not about whether or not meron pa siyang potential upside eh. It's all about, at least for me, saan siya pwedeng mauntog. Diba? Kung nauntog nga siya doon at nag-hold yun, tas ang layo-layo nung stop ko, syempre, hindi worth it i-take yung trade even if kumita ka ng konti along the way. Kasi essentially, ang laki pa rin na sinugal mo, ang laki ng release mo for minimal gain. Okay? So, what bulls want to see from here is either mag-consolidate tayo within this range here, eventually breaking up above 84 to possibly target tong mga naiwan na highs from before up to 1.02, no? Ang ayaw nating makita is yun nga, price to pull back, inegate tong move na to, kainin, break below tong 55, and then come back to this range beneath. Parang babalik tayo dito. Pagka ganon, mukhang medyo dehado tayo ng konti kasi parang na-undo na yung bullishness ng move. For me, kung mangyari yon, maybe pwedeng laruin yung bounce, but actually trading it ng mas mid-term, ganon, medyo mas mahirap na, no? Kasi magiging mas murky tignan yung itsura ng chart. Papangit yung structure overall. Next, tignan po natin ang BDO. So, tawag na anak ko rito, Budo. Okay, so tignan natin yung BDO. So, BDO, nag-break tayo sa highs nito, but I did say na overall, we are trapped within this larger range pa din. Yes, we could segment it. I didn't do so here. I didn't find the need to do so. But even if we did break out of these highs na nag-form along the way, ang major resistance pa rin na kailangan mabasag para sa akin is 135. If we can break above 135, yung next na potential target natin will be at around 142, followed by itong white zone na to around 146, 147 na area. No? Kapag nabasag yan, manunotice nyo na nag-form tayo ng parang inverted head and shoulders. Maybe. While I'm not a big fan of inverted head and shoulders patterns that occur sa top, essentially, di ba, parang nag-i-stair step tayo dito sa BDO, di ba? So while I'm not a fan sa mga ganyan na nag-occur sa top, I do have to admit na yun din kasi yung nangyari dito eh. So possible na yan ulit yung mabuo dyan, tas mag-break tayo to the upside, tas yun nga, mahit natin yung mga targets natin above. From here, ano ang ayaw natin makita? We discussed the bullish scenario, ano yung bearish? Number one, if we pull back, negating to, yung right shoulder, meaning we break beneath 123, more or less, 123, 124, no? Number one, para sa akin, hindi na magmumukhang inverted head and shoulders yun. Diba? Number two, likely ang mangyayari is mababalikan natin tong red zone beneath. Okay? Tapos whether or not that holds will remain to be seen. Maaari din, okay, picture it, na mag-form tayo ng big head and shoulders pattern naman, negative pattern or bearish pattern along the way. Ito yung left shoulder, right shoulder, head, right shoulder, no? So, those are just the things that I want to watch out for. Kung nabasag tong pula, we come back, form the right shoulder, break down, then baka bumalik tayo dito sa lower part na to. And if mabasag yung 98.5 altogether, then lalawak yung range natin beneath. Alright? So, yan po yung BDO. Now, next, let's look at Figaro. So, I mentioned the other day that there was a trade that I did end up taking. Okay, but I didn't want to discuss it then because I wanted to end the week discussing kung ano yung mga nangyari first before we discuss yung trade itself and the thought process, no? So, last time we talked about this, bumaba, sabi natin, we wanted to see it break above 80, itong red na box, diba? And then sabi natin, next resistance level from there was 84 and then 89. Nakikita nyo, hindi pa ako naglagay ng additional levels. And the reason for that is I wanted to make sure na pareho pa rin more or less yung itsura ng chart before we start adding levels and discussing what happened next para mas clear sa inyo yung thought process ko along the way. Diba? Yun naman yung goal natin eh. Yun yung gusto nyo malaman. So, ang nangyari from there is we broke out. Okay? So, maglalagay tayo ngayon ng level dito sa taas nito. So, that's, magnet. So, that's one level, no? Dito sa 1.02. Diyan tayo nauntog, diyan tayo nag-form ng resistance. Okay? What happened from there? From there, we started breaking down. Diba nag-form tayo ng parang konso dito? Price broke down, try to come back up. Hindi man lang tayo umabot dito, then rolled over again. Diba? Nag-form tayo ng mini high dito. Diyan din tayo naghanap ulit ng resistance, then rolled over again. Nag-form tayo ng minor consolidation dito. We rolled up from there, dyan din tayo nauntog, then we rolled over, breaking these lows again, and ngayon, ito na naman. Price is coming back up, pwede tayong mauntog dito, and then we'll see from there kung mag-hold, possible na hanggang gap fill, baka mag-roll over na naman, breaking these lows, at mabalikan natin yung red zone beneath. So yun yung overall scenario na tinitingnan natin by the end of the first week ng IPO ng FCG. Now, ano yung trade na naganap for me dito? Before we discuss this, it's imperative to note na hindi ako naka-live feed sa Investa. Personally, I don't need it. But this is what I did anyway. I'm going to visualize it for you sa chart kasi tapos na. Pero nung nangyayari pa lang to, I had to kinda use my imagination along the way. Basta ang importante sa akin, naka-mark out yung mga levels ko beforehand para susundan ko na lang yung plano during trading hours. Kahit na nasa phone ako, kahit na nasa tablet ako, kahit na ano pa yan, kaya kong i-execute yung trade kasi hindi ko na tinitignan yung chart during those times. Ang tinitignan ko lang is yung mga levels na plinot ko along the way. Now, nung pinag-uusapan natin to nung early on, nakita ko na parang nagko-form siya ng bowl, no? Ng cup or ng rounded bottom, whatever you wanna call it. So, at the time, even though unang sabi natin is break 80, para sa akin, hindi worth it yung risk-reward ng break sa 80. Bakit? Kasi, a break of 80 would take me, sabi ko, sa resistance of 84. Now, I needed to put my stop beneath 77. So, that would be 76, di ba? That's below that low. So, kung unang break pa lang dito, para sa akin, yes, we're within the range. Yes, there's a possibility we come back and tag 80. But, it wasn't worth it para sa akin because yung risk ko would be 4 cents, yung target ko would be 4 cents. Yes, tumuloy siya, pero hindi naman natin yun alam beforehand eh. Diba? It was always possible na mauntog tayo dito sa resistance na to because this was a decent inflection point, meaning it acted as resistance, support, resistance along the way. Diba? So, that wasn't it. What I wanted to see from the get-go was a break of 84. Kasi alam ko, pag na-break yung 84, we have come out of this wider range here, diba? At mababalikan natin to. So, ang potential na untog was 89. Okay, so all I had to see from there is saan ako malamang maglalagay ng stop. So at that point, alright, nung na-break yung 84 in this candle, so nakita ko na sa broker, diba? And break from this candle, ang iniisip ko na was, okay, what I want is a pullback to 84 and I'm gonna buy. Kasi meron na akong low na nabuo at 81. So my cut will be at 80. Okay, now I realize some of you are gonna say na, 80 round number yan, di ka dapat nagkakadyan. Sorry, pero wala akong pakialam sa ganun eh. Okay? Ginagamit ko yung ganyan for possible target setting, but for my stops, I don't do yung mga arbitrary 5% whatever, but basta, ito yung technical stop ko. So, bought at 84, initial target was 89, etong high na to, di ba? Tapos, from there, nung bumili ako, nung naagat ako at 84, my plan was simple. If price close beneath or at 89, ibebenta ko na. Okay, kasi intraday eh. Pero if price close above 89, which it did, I think it closed around 92, no? Itong araw na to. Okay, ito yata yun, 92. Sabi ko, I would try to aim for 1.01. Okay, bakit 1.01? Kasi, normally, pag sa ganito, maraming tao nakatingin sa piso. So kapag nag-break yung piso, odds are someone's gonna buy. So I was confident na kung umabot tayo ng piso odds are mafe-feel ako sa 1.01. Pero yun, makukuha nyo lang yung experience lang yun. Parang more of tansyahan, gut feel. So yun nga yung nangyari. We close above 89 for the day. Diba? Next day, tumuloy sa target, then bumaksak na tayo. After that, wala pa akong trade na kinukuha ulit. Bakit? Bakit ako magta-trade ng ganito? There's nothing to catch. Kakatch ko ulit dito? Why would I? Diba? Why would I catch here? If I caught it here, saan ako mag-i-stop out? I-stop ako below 84? Eh, may consolidation pa dito eh. Stop ako beneath 81? Nandito pa yung red zone ko eh. So, mahirap. So, dahil mahirap, hindi ko na siya ibabother i-trade. But, ayun nga guys, as promised, yun yung thought process ko and yung kinalabasan na trade sa Figaro. I hope na nagustuhan niyo yung lesson na yun, no? Moving on. Okay, last, let's take a look at SGP, no? So, SGP, patuloy lang tayo. So, as we said, yun nga, nagda-downtrend siya. So, ganun pa rin. Yung last we check, ganun pa rin. Tas yun lang, tumuloy lang siya to the downside. Lower highs, lower lows. So now, all we're looking at dito sa SGP is mag-form na naman ba tayo ng lower low. Okay? Kung nag-form tayo ng lower low, then panibagong price exploration na naman, panibagong hanap na naman kung saan tayo pwede mag-carve out ng bottom and see what it does from there. For now, let's say that you're thinking about trading this, you need to ask yourself, bakit ko siya iti-trade right now? Ano yung nakikita ko? Kung pasok siya sa mga systems nyo, then obviously you should go ahead and trade it, no? But for me, there's really nothing to see right now. Not yet anyway. So, para sa akin, kung ganito, hintay muna. If sabihin natin price pushes back up, pwede, balik siya sa range na to, between 12.86 to 13.3. And if we can break 13.3, 13.58 or 13.6 yung next natin na resistance, no? Pero if yun nga, magstay tayo dito, then yung range na we could possibly trade that will be from 12.54 patungong mga 12.8 to 12.86, which is where we're at right now. Okay, so konting ingat lang po dito sa SGP. If you're trading this for the long term, you're looking at dividends, you're looking at then I'm sure na wala kayong pakialam gano'n sa sinasabi ko. Okay, and pag ganon, I'm sorry. It's just not the way I personally trade, but I respect lahat naman ng pamamaraan na gusto natin paano mag-trade. I do believe na lahat naman ng system or lahat naman ng approaches may merit within reason. So, I'm sure na alam nyo yung ginagawa nyo and I will congratulate you in advance na. Okay? So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope kahit papano may natutunan po kayo. Nagustuhan nyo ba yung ganon, yung may parang focus tayo na stock for the week, like this week was FCG. Tapos towards the end of the week, I will explain ano yung ginawa ko, kung may ginawa man ako. Kasi there's always a possibility na wala akong ginawa eh. Diba? Di ko naman kayo ilolokohin na, trade ko to, ganito yung nangyari. Okay? Kung hindi ko naman siya ginawa. Okay? So, nagustuhan nyo ba yung ganong format? Do you want to see this moving forward? Please let me know in the comment section below kasi kung hindi nyo siya gusto, it does require more effort on my part. We could always go back do sa normal lang natin na request na lang and trending names list, no? And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!